Same old song.
You've arrived at Club Cloffer, a popular night spot owned by the Foremark. Counselor Sophia Patella pulled some strings to get you on the guest list. Perhaps now you can drive away with the Foremark involved. But it looks like there may be trouble before you even get inside the door. The group of thugs suddenly attacks. Here, they want to prevent you from enjoying the night on the town.
We like the goblins because we can PK them.
Those DOS thugs were loitering near Club Cloffer. But this
Given orcs nightmares.
something's brewing. And you're smack in the middle of it. A group of would-be patrons lingers in the courtyard. They must not be on the guest list. The bouncer opens the front door, allowing you to enter Club Clawfoot. The Dosk thugs lurking outside have set the assistant's nerves on edge. He wants you to check on Club Clawfoot's employees before he'll let you talk to the manager.
I'm gonna see if Frago can pick this lock. No? Can you do it, Frago? Come on, really try. Hey, got it. Okay, let's see if you can do this. Frago is redeeming himself from earlier when he instantly died. There it is. Nice job. So as reference, this quest is level 17 and Frago's level 3. So the fact that he can do that is pretty impressive, right? Money well spent if you bought him. All right, I think I have the points to do this, actually.
The caretaker of these clawfoot dinosaurs says that the door mechanism is
No?
faulty.
Let's try that. Yeah, I was
It
able to
needs
repair it.
before the beast can be returned to their rightful halfling owners.
I was able to repair it because my character is smart.
The employees report nothing terribly unusual. You can tell Fenwick that all is quiet in the nightclub.
You can't go back to the
Fenwick is relieved to hear that the club is safe and secure. He gives you permission to approach Regina. Club Clawfoot's main. A piercing alarm reverberates. Regina turns to you and cries, "The alarm! Someone's breaching!"
Is there a Reaper next to me? There is.
Be an attack! Quick, Adventurers! Do what you do best!
Alright, color spray. Go, let's go. Okay, the Reaper's down. These hyenas can trip, so... Try to get rid of this dude right away so that gate goes away. Okay. They try to get behind you because they can do flanking bonuses to you. Like, if they have, if they're like coded as a rogue, they can backstab you and things like that. So you'll see a lot of monsters try to get behind you. It's just a lot of them are coded to like try to flank you. It's one of the things that makes having good CC so effective, because you can just keep them all in front of you. Okay, we survived without getting knocked down. That's good. I was able to trip the harpy, though. That's pretty cool.
More dimension doors?
And I gave her a nightmare. We gave him a nightmare. Gave him a nightmare. Whenever they get PK'd, you see those like spectral tentacles. That means they're getting killed by a nightmare. That effect is the Phantasmal Killer, which is basically a spell that causes your worst fears to attack you, and if you fail your saving throws, you die of fear. Really cool spell. Alright, let's see if I can give this harpy a nightmare. I mean, just from a practical perspective, it is nice to just get them off the board so quickly. There we go. Gave him a nightmare. And the dinosaurs didn't help me at all. Defeat Crusher near the stage, so we're at the end. Okay. Well, at the end of this phase, I should say. We gave the hyena a nightmare. Alright, we cannot PK this dude, but we can get the people who came through now. So there's one. Okay, there we go. So let's take care of this boss. I'll use the shrine after too.
The defeated gargoyle was the last one. I have failed, but the others will crush you. Dusk. Forever. More attacks are on the way. But for now, you have a moment to rest.
Okay, trance and death ward.
Magical alarm triggers once again. Dusk's attack on the nightclub has resumed.
It was a good color spray. I got them all. Giving goblins nightmares. Yeah, the color spray hits still really well. And these mobs are like really difficult mobs. All things considered, they're some of the hardest at the level, so...
More dimension doors have opened.
Oh, my trip failed. I think this is it, though. I think this is the last one. No? Okay, if that's not the last one, then there's one down here, right? No? Okay, I see it. This should be the last. Yeah, until I get knockdown immunity, it's pretty scary.
Once again, harsh sounds.
Okay, that's the end of that.
You hear panic shouts, screams, and snakes.
So I have death ward on. I'll retrance. Okay, we gave that hyena a nightmare. Gave that hyena a nightmare. Gonna try to give this troll a nightmare. No. Alright, we're gonna try to fight this Medusa without actually looking at her. So we're kind of fighting her sideways. And that's to avoid, like, her gaze that would turn us to stone. Like her eye line, whatever she's looking at, right? So we don't want to directly look at her. So I'm just gonna kind of fight like I'm standing next to her holding her hand, but my attack zone is a little bit wider. See, if I don't look at her, she can't hurt me with that attack.
A peaceful, quiet.
I think you can also shield block to protect yourself from that, but
Now you can finally talk to
it's easy enough to do. Hey, I got a Reaper point. That's impressively crazy. I think
everything she can to cut ties between the Boromar clan.
that was my 92nd, which isn't a lot because there are people out there with 190, but considering I've never really prioritized getting a lot of Reaper points, it's pretty insane that I have almost 100 or whatever. That's a lot. They really do help though. Like, but once you get around 20-ish, then you start to really notice their effect. Prior to that, you're a little bit weak. Anything over 20 is good. Cannot spend the Reaper point yet. I have 2 action points over here. Really? That cost 1 point. I guess I'm a little confused by what I'm seeing. It says this cost... Oh, in order to get this next level, it cost... Does that really cost 2 points to get that? Level 3 of this? That's crazy. That's not worth it. We'll just take +1 to attack. And then haste. Got an awful lot of junk. We did loot a Resplendent Fury. Okay, that's cool. Creeping Dust Conduit. That's cool. I got the Wildwood outfit. That's okay. Well, we got Transmute of Insightful Transmute Goggles. Those are pretty decent. Not sure, though, that +3 is still relevant at level 16. I think you can get a +4. But I'll save those just in case they might be something that I can sell. We'll save that. And you can sell that stuff for either platinum or astral shards. Like, people sometimes are looking for stuff like that. Although it's way easier to sell that kind of stuff on hardcore than it is on a live server.
You arrive in Dava Gate, one of Sharn's many business districts. The streets are almost deserted at this hour. A lone figure stands idly on the platform next to a sky barge.
About time you got here,
Grumbles the old man.
How long does the haste last for, I wonder?
Quick like and I'll ferry you up to their window.
1 minute and 30 seconds. That's pretty good.
As a mouse.
Mr. Wundt, I assume this is about your request to join the Platinum Concord, which was turned down due to your lack of subtlety, shall we say? Yes, well, I prefer audacity to subtlety. I admit that subtlety has allowed the Aurum to do as they please with the Five Nations for many years. But what I have to offer your organization cannot be ignored.
And this is some of that noir storytelling.
What cannot be ignored are those Zendrick bloodhounds sniffing at your heels. You're exposed, Mr. Vaunt. Not for long, my friend. Allow me to demonstrate. Isabet, please come in. Now, Isabet, I know you invited
The whole idea, too, like the equivalent of this storyline, if this were Harry Potter,
Don't cry.
the Wizarding World, basically this dude is trying to make a magical device so that anybody can have magic.
Just business.
Even a squib, you know, even a a person who's supposed to be but doesn't have it.
Your house cleaning when
But
I'm
it
not
just
there.
so happens that the devices also channel this
Demonstration of my device. I wanted you to see my
evil
device firsthand.
that's found, like the Forge Wraiths come through them. So that's why we have Forge Wraiths everywhere.
Gesh,
They're like my least favorite monster.
we will adjourn to the yacht. It's time for the next act to begin.
Vaughn's henchman releases a strange whooping bark, and the dark.
But in the meantime, we're gonna get ambushed by regular monsters.
Ambush! Damn us for fools!
Shouts Casper.
Let's see if I can color spray them. There we go. So do I do this one with the sled or without the sled?
Dispatched Vaughn's first group of assassins, but they're surely not the last. Vaughn doesn't go in for half measures. Casper wheezes out his words.
My opinion, the sled makes it a lot more dangerous.
But with more chest pain.
Because now you're dealing with a three-dimensional, you know, now you're basically flying an airplane. So you have to worry about the Z-axis as well. And if you've ever done any sort of flight simulator combat, it is you can easily lose track of where damage is coming in. So I've seen people die really quick because up here there's a bunch of monsters. And not only do they try to get behind you, but they'll also try to get underneath you. So normally on the Hardcore League, if I do this quest, I don't even pick up a source sled. But the last time I did this, I did not. And so for this time, I will actually use one since it's rare for me to use them. So I'm trying to stay still and just let them sort of surround me and then deal with them one at a time rather than flying around. It's not like we're dealing with like true air combat here. They're still functioning like monsters. Even that archer, he should be shooting at me, but he's not. It looks like he's so high up I can't even reach him. So I don't know.
A motley crew of creatures
Okay.
takes up position on the bridge, spoiling for a fight. The low bellow of an
And we're just gonna drop down and color spray this bridge. So the thug there, he'll hit us the hardest. So we want to get him first, then the Mark of Chaos, and then all the others. We'll color spray them again. Look at that. We gave that one a nightmare. Can we give this one a nightmare? No. How about this one? Yep, we gave him a nightmare. Can we give this one a nightmare? No.
A strange-looking goblin glides up above
Gonna run and refresh my source sled. Right here, there's a whole bunch, so.
source line.
They last for, what, 4 minutes?
Knoll escort.
Those nobodies made mincemeat out of your fleabag knolls. I
told you the direct approach wasn't gonna work. I'm gonna go bait the hook on my plan.
Okay, just gonna lure them all to me. Color spray.
Said to work
Yeah.
together as a pack.
The gnoll snarls, retreating comrade.
I mean, you can see really quickly, like, this is super, super weird and sort of annoying.
Dimwit, replies the goblin.
Let my flame.
Okay, I still have 3 minutes, so I'm ready to go to the next one. The nightmares are being procced from my weapon. It's the Conjured Shadow Blade from the Fade Arc Illusionist. That's the crit. It's basically like a Vorpal Strike.
A mob of gnomes and goblins
But it works better than regular Vorpal because it actually works. Like, regular Vorpal doesn't really work. This will actually kill them if it... You know, I think a Vorpal, if you succeed on a Vorpal, it does like 1,000 damage or 100 damage, but they have to be below a certain threshold. This here is sort of the same thing, but if they fail their save, they get PK'd, so they actually will die. It's not just like a damage number. But we can read it, just to be very specific about it, because I could be describing it wrong, but you can clearly see that it works. So hopefully we give this Stone Guard a nightmare. Yep, we gave him a nightmare, and then we'll give this dude a nightmare. I'm gonna refresh my sled. We'll look at it here. So let's see. Shadow Blade is a +6, does impactful force and then greater nightmare. On Vorpal, it does 1,000. If the monster's below 1,000, it will do a PK. They need to make a save, or they're instantly killed by force damage. If they make their save, or they're not killed, they have more than 1,000, then they just take force damage. But my experience, they just get PK'd. It's great. It works. I don't know if it's working as intended or what, but it's way better than regular Vorpal. And having played long enough to remember when Vorpal was something you actually wanted to use, because it worked really well, it's nice that they added something back in the game that works like that. So it reminds me a lot of how Vorpal used to be. And in Heroics, I mean, it works really well. Although you can PK stuff using the Shadow Blade all the way into Epics and Legendaries. Like, it doesn't stop working.
shouts Casper.
It's just things might have more hit points, so it might take a little longer. Alright, so this is really sort of like
Some kind of
probably the most dangerous part of this quest. And we just basically have to watch out for these little bomb bats when they make that. Look, I gave them all nightmares. That's great. They will do like a
the door of a nearby bookshop opens, and another cloud of bats.
like a phase shift where they actually will begin to detonate. You just have, yeah, see the sparks? You got to get away from them when they start to spark, because they'll blow up, and it's enough that if you get hit by it, if you have like low hit points, you could die. I've seen people on hardcore die to these bats more than anything else in this quest, so.
Inside the bookstore, goblins scramble to release one last
And here's more of them, so we have to keep our eyes open, especially if there's a champ or something like that. Like when we see the word spark, we have to move, so we don't get blown up. Obviously, I'm not doing this perfectly, but it's good enough. I find the sleds super annoying because, like, you see, it's hard for me to kind of get onto a ground level with them. I'm kind of constantly hovering over them. So it's one of the other reasons why I just choose usually to not use the sleds, but There, that got him. That got him. Okay, he's gone. See if we can give this mage a nightmare. No.
Exploding bats? Gods, what a circus! Who's going to explain this mess to the city watch come the morning?
Mutters Casper as he coasts along behind you.
Okay, we are going to need to refresh our source sled because it's out. It runs out in 10 seconds. I think we can get more, though, right over here.
Shadows move among the arches of a nearby market. More of Vaunt's mercenaries await your attention there.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons that I love the Shadow Blade so much, and why I play it a lot. Even though it's a short sword, you can get it to where it does really good damage, and then it has the PK effect. So, you know, being a weapon that you don't have to worry about farming for, like I use it all the time if I play a melee on hardcore, because it's a really good weapon. And you get it automatically just for being in the tree. The only downside is you usually have to take magical training in order to have access to the tree. The exception of that is if you do like a paladin. I think they automatically have the ability because they get magical training, I believe. I think rangers might also, but I could be wrong about that. It's been a while since I made a ranger. But if you didn't have access to magical training, you would just need to take that as your first feat, and then you'd have access to it. On a fighter like a Dragon Lord, where we get a ton of feats anyway, it's no big deal. Like, we're trying to figure out what to use all the feats for, so it's super easy. And I'm a human, so like I got a bonus feat, so I think that was my bonus feat, magical training. I think I also took single weapon fighting, and I think another one of my first feats was precision. I think that was another feat that I took really early. But these mobs have a ton of health, like they're super annoying. Alright, so I've got 2 minutes on my sled.
Waits for you near old Tully Tower. Goblins swarm over the tower itself.
Alright, I got all the archers with my color spray. Okay, gave him a nightmare. We cannot give a mage fire cannon a nightmare, although that would be cool. There's so many hit points. Okay, come on. It's a CR22 and we're only level 15, so... there's a bunch of traps that I don't want to set off, so... I'm gonna fly over them. So I've been playing Diablo 4, Season 4, Blizzard's last chance to save Diablo. Their last 5th chance to save Diablo. And it's pretty good. They really fixed necromancers. So like my minions now are really, really strong. And they don't die. Like, they can fight a boss. I still need to do a little bit, but for the most part, they're super strong. There's one line that you can do if you take the skeletons that hold a shield, that you can make them so where they take 99% less damage, and basically nothing can kill them. It's super cool. They're still, you know, they're dumb. They have like no real good like brain, so they run off and do some stupid shit, but way, way better than it was. Like, way better. So I'm actually enjoying playing the Necromancer now. Like, it feels like I think it probably should have in the beginning. And I'm doing Frost Mage, so I've got the 99% damage reduction skeletons with the shields, and then I'm doing Frost Mages, and they're really good because they cast these like frost bolts that will freeze stuff. So if you get like an elite, it'll just be frozen, and then the you know, the skeletons blast it down. So basically I'm just like maxing out everything to do with the minions and not worrying about my own damage, although I am using like there's a bone storm ability that I use for when I'm fighting like a lot of mobs. And then the other thing too is they revamped the loot, the way the loot goes, so I've found it a lot better, like gearing up. I found a unique item that was pretty cool. It's cool. There are still problems with that game, and one of them being like, I don't know how to describe it. It sort of has a really different feel than any other game, and it's in the sense that I just always end up feeling like, even though there's people all over the place, that I'm in a solo. So it's hard to describe, even more so than DDO. Even though right now I'm soloing, I still kind of, in the back of my mind, feel like at any time I could just join a group and go off and do something. But in Diablo 4, it's just a different feeling. Like, even though I do stuff in the world with people, I never feel like I actually really care. I never feel like they care. It's just like, yeah, we get together momentarily to help each other out, but nobody really cares. Nobody wants to know you. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to group with you beyond the fact that you kind of have to do like certain like area mobs and stuff. It's just weird. If I had a bunch of friends who were playing it, maybe I would feel different. But just being somebody who like goes there by myself, yeah, it's not like there's just people hanging around and I can go and hang out somewhere. There's no real like area where people hang out. I guess there is one sort of big city area, but most people are there to do stuff like, you know, use the blacksmith or add like masterwork their its, or add a gem slot or something. You know, it's not like people are there to just hang out and talk. So it's different. It's just a much different feel. It makes me feel like there's a lot less to do. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a very sort of an interesting thing. Like, even though it's probably true of a lot of other games, it feels more so in Diablo. Like, I'm focusing on just getting gear to go back to town to repair it, to go back out to get gear, to go, you know, to it doesn't feel like there's ever anything beyond that to do, which is unfortunate. Because at least here, even though I'm doing exactly the same thing, it's just different. It feels different. This game isn't so much about the grind for gear, although it certainly is, but we don't have like gear ratings. It's not like, you know, if I join a pug to do a quest, they're not gonna look at my gear rating and say, oh, you're way too low, get the hell out of here. That absolutely would happen in Diablo, like if you join and your gear sucked. Although I don't know about this season because it's been pretty easy, but that absolutely is the case for like Star Wars, The Old Republic, and World of Warcraft. Like people look at your gear level,
I feel like an idiot.
and even though you could be like the world's nicest guy, if your gear isn't there, they're not gonna want you to be in their group. They're gonna probably just kick you out.
This city watch station is locked up tight and stands as silent as the grave. Is it unmanned? Or have the
So I
guards
still have
inside
2
been
minutes.
given
Okay, let's
reason to
fly over
silence
this
her?
way. But it's just as a game, like as an action RPG, playing a necromancer, running around, getting loot, and exploring dungeons and dealing with NPCs and mobs. It's been fun. Like it has been certainly fun. So, if you bought Diablo 4 back when it came out and you tried it and you weren't that happy with it, I would suggest giving it another try now because they massively revamped the way everything works. So it's a lot better. It's in a state that it should have launched. Like if it had launched in this state, it would have been a lot more popular. Like a lot of it's really good, and they flat out stole a lot of the stuff they're doing from Path of Exile and Last Epoch. So if you played Path of Exile or Last Epoch and like them, you would like Diablo 4 because everything the way that it's structured now is very similar. I still think Path of Exile does some things a little bit better, a little bit more intuitively when it comes to like your character but Diablo is still really a pretty game. But that's been the other sort of an issue. Like, even though it's pretty, it's like I was saying again, it's not like you can get on and go to a city and just hang out and talk with people like you could do in WoW. Or in Star Wars, you could do that. Or even in this game, DDO, like I could go and hang around the marketplace and just talk to random people. It's different. I wouldn't do that in Diablo 4. Diablo 4, I'm just trying to get into the dungeon, clear it out, go back, repair, then get back into the dungeon, clear it out, and go back and repair. It's very, very similar to what the original Diablo was, where, you know, it was a flat dungeon crawl. But the original, like 1 and 2, that for some reason they just felt a little bit better. 3 was a massive disappointment. 4 was a disappointment. I'm not chasing this dude. I'm just gonna throw a dagger at him. Let's see if he'll follow me. We'll go hide behind here. It's usually a good strategy. Yeah, he'll come looking for us. I hope. I'm not sure who he's fighting or what he's doing. I hear him. What are you doing? He's got a bleed effect on him, and I don't know why. I don't think it was me. Maybe it was. Alright, so we're just gonna hang out here. Yeah, those knockdown bombs are super annoying. Not sure if they'll come back. I find it funny that his name is Irk, and he is one of the most irksome bosses. He's just super annoying. Oh yeah, you think you could come around the corner eventually? No, I'm not following you, bro. Without knockdown immunity, those things will knock me down. And so he's still only taking 5,000 damage. Like, he's got a ton of health left. It's one of the reasons I don't do this quest. Usually. But we need it. If you have to do it once, right? We need it to unlock part 2. But they coded him very accurate for his name. Yeah, here he comes. I got 2 hits on him and then he left. So stupid. Yeah, if they gave me power to change something in a day, I would definitely code this dude differently. I would say, okay, we're fixing Urk. We're going to have him just jump off the cliff and murder himself because he's so annoying. He's going to say, you know what? I decided that I'm not even going to fight. And then they make him disappear. Oh, God, dude.
The shrill voices of more goblins pierced the night air.
I wonder if there's a school for video game creators. And one of the topics in the design class is how to annoy players 101. Well, we can make it so that the boss disappears in the middle of the fight. Yeah, they're fighting it and then it disappears. And then the teacher's like, what's your name? And the guy's like, my name is Johnson. Like, that's a great idea, Johnson. Everybody pay attention to Johnson here. He has a great idea. And what if we made it so that there were like 40,000 mobs instead of just, you know, the normal amount of mobs? Johnson, you're on a roll. 40,000 mobs and make the boss disappear. So here's 40,000 mobs. Look at them. And they won't come down to me because they're ranged. So now I have to range them. Right? And who knows where the boss is? He's off in La La Land somewhere. I don't even need to kill these dudes because once he's gone, they will disappear. Let's see if we can find him. There he is. Alright. So he's back. Yeah, he put the spear on me. You want to move if you get that. If you're on hardcore. Because that spear can one-shot you. Okay, come on, let's go. Everybody back. I'll redo my death ward. Might as well, since I have haste now, cast a haste on me. I have no idea where the boss is. We saw him momentarily. He's doing that spear on me thing. Okay, here he is. And he ran away. It's all Johnson's fault. Think I can get more than 2 hits on him? You bastard. Alright, here we go. stay put. Ah, don't you even think... I'm not chasing him, dude, because there's... Look at all the bombs he leaves. That was another thing. Yeah, let's... Oh, can I get him? Damn it. Yeah, we'll make it so that when you chase him, he knocks you down. You are getting an A this semester, Johnson. And they did it all in this quest. 40,000 mobs, he knocks you down, and he vanishes. He healed too, look at that. Or maybe I didn't hit him. He's at 11,000, right? 11,700. So I got him to 10. I mean, this is just taking way, way too long. Let's see if we can get a couple thousand off of him. All right, he's at 95. 89. $72. Awesome. Oh boy. Oh, he disappeared again. Damn you. Oh, come on, man. I see you. Watch this. That spear does a ton of damage. Oh, it didn't really hit me for that much, but I've seen it hit people for 1,000. Okay, he's at 47. They need to close that school down, if that's a real school. That how to design to aggravate the player 101 needs to never be taught again. We can't stop him, like... Oh, he just... Yeah, and then I'm gonna make it so that he disappears 3 times in a row. Valedictorian. Welcome, Johnson. The best video game designer in the world. That's it. We're chasing him. Look, see? I can't even chase him. I get knocked down. That's why I'm standing back here, because you can't even do it if you want to. I hate melee. I seriously hate melee. Because if I were on a caster, I would have already nuked him to death. I'm like stuck. Hey, come over here so I can hit you with my sword. Oh yeah, there you go. Stand still so I can hit you a couple times. Nobody's gonna stand still. Alright, I'm just gonna skip all of the fucking mines. Hooray, he's dead finally. Now these dudes are supposed to vanish. Okay, they did.
Holding the limp form of Isabel. You've reached Isabel, but all is not well.
Just business.
He's gone. Gone.
Yeah, and then he uses a Gibber's Blade. He's just so annoying.
New improved vaunt.
Right? That was Johnson's thesis. What did he do? Yeah, and then we're gonna make the boss come back. You kill him, and then he's back again in the next quest.
Odd yet strangely familiar.
Damn it, that's the best idea I've ever heard.
Jack Jibber's blade.
So there he is. He's got a Gibber's Blade.
To keep meeting like this. Anyway, can't stay.
Took me 200 pulls to get my Gibber's Blade.
You know how
And I didn't actually even pull it. Somebody passed it to me. I never actually got a Gibber's Blade myself on my main character. I have them on other characters, but they're bound to character, right? So we had to do that nonsense, this quest, in order to unlock part 2. Ride my Githyanki dragon. Because that's what it is. It's a Githyanki dragon. If you play Baldur's Gate 3 and you look at Laziel's armor, she is wearing armor that looks exactly like that. Like, it's got the same red gems in it. It's got the same, it looks like... Yeah, so they did a really good job at making it like a Githyanki mount. Which makes me hope that they give us a playable Githyanki species, right?
Where are you going? Hunting for gold that is flowing. Somewhere in the cold world, here there is no knowing. Hey la, oh la la la. We love if there's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la. We love games. Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing. Hey la, oh la la. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Oh la la. Hunting old crypts is folly. Just play games and be jolly. Magical treasures hide in the dark, so rest in it and embark. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la. We love games. Hey la, Mary la. Oh la 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 la. Oh la la. La 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 la. La la